I was somewhat of a entrepreneur, very resourceful and business, and I made a lot of money, and I knew how to make money. And along with that came the social parties, primarily alcohol at first. And then I was introduced to cocaine. Because of that, I was diagnosed with a liver disease in my mid-20s and told to stop. Of course, I didn't. I went from drinking on a daily basis and cocaine into the heroin scene also, and I became an IV drug user. And at that point in my life, there was nothing else important. That became priority in my life. I had lost everything that I gained, including all family members, businesses, houses, and I was homeless. I lived on the streets of Hartford in abandoned buildings. And on a daily basis, I would wake up and my whole day was trying to find drugs and alcohol to consume. And I reached a point where I continuously got sicker. I contracted hepatitis A, B, and C. And I also got the HIV virus, which turned into full-blown AIDS. Besides that, I had a liver biopsy done, and they diagnosed me with cirrhosis of the liver level 4. And from that point on, I was waiting to die on a daily basis. And every day I wake up in an abandoned building or somebody's hallway or somebody's car, wherever I could find a place to sleep, and I was still alive. I wanted to die. I just couldn't take it anymore. And I remember one night about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I don't know what led me to do this, but I fell to my knees, and I said, God, I don't know if you have anything to do with me anymore, or if you'll even hear me, but please help me. I can't do this anymore. Approximately 2 weeks later, I'm in the state of Maine, wondering, where am I? How did I get here? I didn't know where Maine was. I knew there was a Maine, but I didn't know where it was, and I really didn't know how I got here. I knew now that that was God's plan for me. I went into a rehab center for a year. I found a church. The church was called New Life Church. God brought me here. A certain man named Mike Butler, as a matter of fact, he looked at me and he said, Ted, you're a good man. And that was the first time anybody had a good word to say about me, because of what I did and the type of person I had become through drugs and alcohol. And he prayed over me. He prayed over me. I came to New Life for over a year. I went on to certain things with New Life, such as the encounter, and a number of men kept on praying over me. After I came back from the encounter, I went to the doctor and I was on medication. There was absolutely no signs of AIDS in my system. They couldn't even find the HIV virus, and that's supposed to be irreversible. The count was nothing. Hepatitis C was undetectable. They couldn't find it. Hepatitis C was gone. Power of prayer, I believe God had a plan for me. Cirrhosis of the liver was still there, but my liver was functioning. Well, about 10 months ago, my doctor gave me some medicine for the gout, because it's a very painful flare-up in your joints. Well, what that medication did was shut my liver down. It just totally stopped it from functioning. And I swelled up. I looked like a pregnant man. I had about 17 pounds of fluid in my stomach. So I went to the special doctor, number one in the state of Maine for livers. And I saw him before. And so I went to him and he said, well, I'm really sorry, there's nothing I could do for you. You have cirrhosis of the liver level 4. We gave you X amount of years. I said, well, that was really nice. He said, there's nothing that we could really do for you. I had to inform my family, who immediately started praying for me. I take care of these women's houses in Ocean Park who live in New Hampshire. They started praying for me. So I had my family in Connecticut praying for me. I had those women praying for me. My wife was praying for me. And all the men in New Life Church were praying for me. And Mike Butler anointed me with oil as he was praying over me. I went back to the doctor 3 weeks later. I'll never forget the look on his face. He took some tests, and all of a sudden my liver was functioning. He looked at me, he goes, I don't understand. And I said, it was by the grace of God and the power of prayer. I'm Ted Gwotz, and I'm living proof that God still answers.